Hi, I'm Sean from Vocal Consulting, and today I'm going to talk about a method to avoid dry throat while running. Now, I already have one video on the subject, and I'll put a link to that below, but this is an improved version. In the first video, I talked about humping your tongue up against the top back molars to form a narrow constriction for air to go through and more evaporation to occur. And that is a good start, but it doesn't deal with the back of the throat. You want to make sure that that part's open so you don't get as much evaporation. Now, the basic theory is that in a narrow constriction like you form at the top of your mouth when you hump your tongue up, the air moves faster there linearly relative to the rest of the air. And this faster air causes more evaporation to occur, and also a higher percentage of the air is close to an area where evaporation can occur, like on your tongue or on the top of your mouth as it passes through. Because just think about passing through something like this versus passing through something like this. The walls where you can evaporate from are closer to most of the air than they would be in this case. So that's sort of the basic theory of it, which is we want to keep a narrow constriction in an area of our mouth that we can re-wet easily, so in like the top of the mouth and the tongue, not in the back of the throat, which is more difficult to re-wet. So inhaling on an E vowel during running can help you avoid dry throat. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further into the theory behind why it works and give you some practical tips for incorporating it into your running. Now, I came up with this method after reading Kenneth Boasman's very insightful book called Kinesthetic Voice Pedagogy. In his book, he talks about making two different vowel sounds, an E sound and an Ah sound. And he talks about how the Ah sound makes the back of your tongue go close to your throat, whereas an E sound keeps your throat open. And he mentions that to feel where the back of your tongue is, you can inhale on the vowel. So if you make an Ah and then breathe in on that, you can feel the hump of your tongue getting cooler from the evaporation, and the same thing, it'll be evaporating against your throat there in that narrow constriction region. Now, if you make an E and then you breathe in on that, the hump now is in the middle of your tongue up against your back top molars, and that's where most of the evaporation will occur, and not in the throat where it's more open. I apologize, my artistic skills are lacking, but here's basically, if you're making an E sound, this would be the tongue, this is the back of the throat, this is the top of the roof of the mouth, soft palate area. So if you make an E, your tongue will be humped up towards the back top molars, and then you'll be relatively open in this area between your tongue and the back of your throat. Whereas if you make an Ah sound, your tongue goes kind of flat, but the back of the throat has a constriction here where the tongue is humped up against it. Now, in cross-section, the tongue shape would be on the Ah, the tongue is down. These are the top back molars here, so it'd be like a slice through this. So this is kind of a strange drawing also. It's two-dimensional to here and then three-dimensional from here, just to show the front of the tongue going down behind the bottom front teeth. That's where the front of your tongue would be in this methodology. And then for an E sound, the tongue is humped up against those top back molars here, a slice, and then it comes down to the front teeth. So you can see there's a gap here that's formed, and that is where the air can pass through and then down into the throat. Now, to put this into practical use, you have to get used to making this shape with your tongue to make an E sound, like E vowel. E, E, and you exhale E, and then inhale it, E, and then eventually you want to drop the phonation, you want to drop the vocal cord sound, because you're not going to be out there running going E, 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 E. So you go E, E. And now you also want to incorporate when you close your mouth to re-wet with spit. And the way that I do this is I'll exhale with my mouth open, quickly close it and redistribute the spit, and then I will inhale, keeping my tongue up in that E position. So it'd be when I close my mouth to re-wet right at the end of the exhale before the inhale, I will generally try to keep my tongue still humped up against the back top molars the whole time. So even as I'm opening and closing, I'm keeping it humped up. You can also breathe out of your nose and in through your mouth, as I mentioned in the previous video. So that would be. So after you've incorporated this E pattern into your tongue and your breathing, make sure your shoulders are down, your cheeks are relaxed, your jaw's relaxed. You don't want any extra tension, because that will decrease your efficiency in running. And I'll just quickly mention that there are some other things that voice training can help you with for your running. One is learning how to breathe low can help you avoid side stitches. And another is learning how to project your voice without straining can help you if you want to yell at dogs that are running after you or cars that don't see you, like, "Hey, I'm running here!" I hope you find this method useful, and if you do, please like the video, and thank you for watching.